the downfall of Genius and the interest that Genius used to generate, it has fallen a ton. And part of that reason is because the artists that go to these shows and the artists that have the hit songs nowadays, not only do they make disposable music, but also they're not true artists anymore. They don't write, they don't compose, and they don't sing. They're just essentially products that are very artificial and they have no essence. So I think the reason why the SB19 Genius has been going so viral on TikTok. Waleska has been mentioning it to me, and I haven't seen it. She hasn't seen it. It's because it's very rare, I think, for the Western audience to see artists, especially boy groups, that have essence, that can sing a cappella, and that write, compose, and their lyrics have meaning. It's no longer, I told him, put it in my ass. That man put it in my ass. And it's some girl singing like that. You're like, what? Coconut water. Because coconut water, I want to see it on your face and fucking make you motor. Yeah. Yeah. So let's have a look at how they did in Genius.
You could hear rock, you could hear pop, hip hop. There's novelty, R&B. So we're like that. We're chaotic. We're a chaotic group.
And I love that.
Lawless.
When we first heard the song, it really like got our attention. The focus instrument that they use, it's a guitar. Lawless. So it gave you a feeling of a Western standoff. You know, like two people,
From
like
Texas.
squinted eyes, like clawing the air. I'm an outlaw. On the run, the road is brutal. What's your mouth? I don't need no one's approval. Keep your doubts. I'm lawless. Better be couches. No boxes can hold the gods. No. Side of mosh pit. Well, basically, the song is about living like an outlaw. Not really, you know, like an outlaw breaking all the rules type of outlaw, but someone who's willing to go against expectations of people, you know, choosing the right path for you, regardless of what people say, with all the conviction that you have inside. Hey,
I love. He's such a great speaker.
I think he's also really improved in you know, English is their second language. They speak a lot of Taglish, I think, naturally, but there is one thing to be able to, you know, speak English with your mate, and then there's another thing of being a world-class communicator, and then to be able to then communicate the art that which you created and the lyrics that which you've written, and communicate them in a way in which they're easily accessible for people that are not fucking lyricists.
Yeah.
That requires a different level of
It
skill.
really
So it's
does.
very impressive to hear him speak like this.
I actually think this is. I understand why this is creating so much commotion, though. This is
Well,
a really good.
it's rare.
Showcase.
It's rare when you have a pop artist singing the verse a cappella, and it sounds like the fucking studio version.
And it's not flat because usually the rap, you know, sometimes can fall a
My
bit
God.
flat.
Part of the
You
reason
know?
why I think Genius fell is because they just opened up the door to everyone.
Which is great because it was everybody that was making the
And he
noise.
exposed everyone at how stupid and ridiculous the fucking music industry in the West is.
hey, eating common sense, talking out of pocket, get your caught quick. Yeah, hey, you ain't got no authority. Living lawless is my priority.
We don't really get to care about what other people or what other like the standards are, but we are not going to follow it because living lawless is actually going to be our priority, or saying it like we're going to do what we want and we're going to set what we want for our own standards. It's too obvious that you're just trying to hate. I get a lot of beef with, you know, people. But yeah, it
true.
happens, you know.
When you're
It's
the
more
best,
fun.
people are gonna hate. That's just part of the whole thing.
I mean, I think you can criticize SB19 on a few things. I don't think any of them are part of like the quality of the product that they have. I think they do the best they can, and I think you can't criticize them for their technical understanding of dancing and singing. No, because at the moment, not only are they the current leaders, but just from a pragmatic standpoint, they're honestly outstanding in those areas. I think what you can sort of criticize them on has been I think SB19, just because they were the forefront of P-pop, there was so much mismanagement along the way, so much mismanagement, and I still there. To a certain extent, I do feel they're still being mismanaged. Hence, why when they're signing with global agencies, when they're signing with international, the big dogs agencies, it gives me hope that the next year or so will be the years in which they will become the most managed. And then I think some of that mismanagement starts to then come across in some of its music, because I feel like right now the music that they're about to make in the future will be the music that, with good management and with good representation, will bring them to the West strongly and will make them chart here. It was very obvious when BTS made that adjustment. It was very obvious when EXO tried to make that adjustment. Do you remember when EXO tried to push for the West?
Yes.
When Twice did. And I think SB19 is starting to enter that area. I think we're still a little bit behind in physical sales and physical copies. Part of the reason, I think, is because of the mismanagement. I think you should have...
I also think there needs to be done a bit more of familiarity in the West. I feel like we need to push for more familiarity.
Even in the Philippines, I feel like there should have been a bigger push with the 18 to buy physical media.
I agree.
I think because then it opens up the doors in the West even more. I feel like
they sell.
All the albums that they would have, from the beginning, it would have been physical media and merchandise and a ton of merch.
I just didn't have that team.
I still don't know why there isn't enough SB19 merchandise with the biggest merchandisers in the world. I have no idea, because they sell tickets, and tickets are the biggest like case study for, are people gonna buy what you fucking have to sell?
Correct.
Museums, like, they have events. People have fucking watch parties, and it's a ticketed event. So there's still some mismanagement in that area, and I think not only will it put the Filipino market in another level, because other markets would look at the Philippines even better. Part of the reason why worldwide artists tour in the Philippines is because the Filipino market buys tickets.
Yeah, they sell,
and merchandise to a certain extent. There's still a problem of piracy, I feel, in the Philippines in that aspect. They used to be the same back home. But tickets, you can't fucking pirate those.
That's true.
So they really got hold of that. So you go if you paid. But I think physical media, physical sales, because if they're selling, 60,000 tickets, 100,000 tickets, and they sold 500,000 physical copies in the first couple of weeks, everyone from every part of the world will bat an eye.
Absolutely.
They'll go, what?
I was like, what is that? Those
Who
are incredible
the fuck is that group?
Yeah,
because right now their numbers are, the physical copies are somewhat there, but digital numbers.
Yes, of course.
Concert numbers, which that's why they're getting the attention of the big agencies and stuff. That's because of the concert numbers. But I think that's been the criticism you can give to SB19. But in terms of like, what do you hate from SB19? Maybe you just don't like the lads, their personalities or whatever the fuck. But and maybe they make angry music like that grandma told us, when we went to like a Beanie concert, which is like, I really like their soft music, but I think they're always angry. But it's like, well, that's who they are, though.
Yeah, that's a brand.
They had to fight so much. It's
Correct.
like,
Let it do the damage. We'll kiss savage. Oh, keep 'em singing now. Tragic, no pain the whole time. For this part, basically, people who say bad things towards us or like bringing us down, we don't care. We don't listen to them. By achieving our goals and whatnot, it's like, you're trying to bring us down, but you can't. We're making our own world. We're making our own realm. So we're doing it. We're winning. While you're there, you're doing nothing.
Are you mad, Justin?
No, I'm good.
I don't think I've
The
seen
road
you.
is my favorite part of the song is the chorus and the hook together with the ding 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 ding. Like, it feels like I'm in a pub with lots of cowboys.
Hot.
I feel like I want to jump and
That's what
party.
they called them back in the day. It wasn't pub, was it?
I think it was like
Pub back in the day in America? Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine things. But a party that's very messy and rowdy and just lawless.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, exactly.
Red Dead
exactly
Redemption
that
2
vibe.
vibes.
Totally.
It's actually translates to, these guys thought we was playing and they are choking on their own thoughts. If you're hating on someone, it's actually insecurity already, that you've been always following what these guys are doing. You just want to bring them.
Oh, call the police! I mean, we are the future. Most people would
Totally.
just stay inside the box, but they would never know what was outside the box. There are lots of dangers and whatnot, but then You'll never know once you're out there. So
No. Pablo had a great show in here. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh,
he-
Justin's son. I'm always. Wow, what the fuck? What an unbelievable evolution on this man.
Well, boys. I've been saying that for a while.
Wow, dude. Like.
That is just so awesome to see, though, because if you put your head down and then you actually, step outside of your comfort zone
Right.
and put in the work and
Right.
get humbled by the fact that you have to learn something from the beginning,
Right.
and actually create that progress.
And you have an air of humility. I think that's the biggest.
Yes,
That's the biggest thing to admire about Justin is the fact that he understood very clearly in the group. He wasn't in the arts. That wasn't his thing. He never planned on becoming an idol. He never planned on being a dancer. He wasn't naturally gifted at any of those things. He was just very creative. And you can tell then in the direction of the music videos, and that really played a big part in the success of SB19. But the reason why Justin has been able to improve so fast and has been able to become the fucking meat and potatoes, the potatoes of the group, really. And what keeps things, what gels things together, is because relentless work ethic.
Yes, absolutely.
And the humility to even post the fame, post the virality, to train harder, to accept the flaws,
and get better, and actually be better.
and accept guidance. Like, bro, he already was making money. He
didn't have to listen to anybody.
Nobody.
He didn't have to get better at all.
And
by the way,
it's been so impressive because he's not like, oh, he was shit before. No, it's like
he wasn't.
because he was fucking
He was
working then.
competent. He was actually working really well with the congealment and the structure of the group itself.
But like now he's like becoming an example.
Correct.
Now it's like, oh, other idols should copy him, which is wild.
Yeah, I actually, one of my favorite things about SB19 is that individually you can see that all of them put in a lot of work outside of their schedule, outside of their SB19 compromises, because then by the time that they get back together, it is even better. Because they individually have improved upon their own artistry and mastery of certain techniques.
That's why I think it was super important, even though, I think, what was the original company? Show BT, whatever the fuck the original company was, the Korean company.
Yes.
I think even though they get a lot of, slack and in some certain aspects very much deservedly so, and in other aspects like this one, I think they deserve a lot of credit because when you copy the K-pop system, where you allow your members to have solo activities, and that's unheard of in the West.
It really is.
That's unheard of in the West because it looks like the group is breaking up. As soon as that happens, Felipe released Palayo, he wants to leave the group. That never, if that was in the West, that's the first thing that would have happened if they were a Western group. But because they come from that system, I think also the Philippines is used to that system because they like so much Korean pop and they're big consumers of it. Having their own group also then
created the right storm.
Culture.
Created the right storm for this to happen.
And that allowed them all to improve.
Yes.
Justin had to go through that first solo project. Ken improved a ton after Palayo and his own self-discovery. I think it also helped a lot for his happiness and their own creative happiness.
Correct.
Pablo is the biggest example of it felt like he was taking off some chains because there was some type of works that he wasn't able to do with SB19, but he can do alone with his brother. Josh, biggest example of that. He wants to be a bit more of a rapper with the urban scene. He wants to do the collaborative efforts. And still, he wants to be a pop star, and he wants to be a balladeer, and he wants to be a television personality.
The big personality, and I love that they're able to really explore all of those endeavors, and then when they come back, you really have a really solid foundation, but because they have a really good line of communication also.
It doesn't hurt the image of the group, which is the most important part, and I think that comes from the show BT aspect of it, and he bred that culture with the boys, I
agree.
So
He's
So
like,
for this
yeah,
part,
that's my boy.
it's ridiculous that
That's my boy.
he's able to do that so fucking...
That was so clean, guys.
It's the last draw. Watch me run and lose control. So for this,
And there's never any sign of damage.
Stunning work, stunning. And he has been doing those vocals for so long this year.
And no damage.
And no strain. You don't hear the fatigue. I bet you he's one of those people who are out here shouting and
He's wild,
talking
yeah.
loud and never taking rest. And I bet you he's one of those people. There's those freaks of nature that don't need to do like vocal rest.
The Regine Velasquez that can have a ice cold mint and then water
Yeah.
before performing to numb the fucking. What?
Yeah, I bet you he's a freak of nature in that sense. But
It really does
it's
seem
so
like
impressive.
it. But he has made great adjustments physically in order to be able
really
to
has.
sustain that.
I agree.
Because he's physical. He's a physical belter. So
Also, so he's an incredible dancer, so he needs to back up some of that demand vocally with muscles.
yeah. and he hasn't gone to the extent in which he's lost all his fatty tissue. As a matter of fact,
You need the fatty tissue. It's such an important part of vocal health. You need some fatty tissue. If you are super lean and there's no fat in your body, you will struggle as a power vocalist because you need part of that lubricant. You need to burn the fat. Unfortunately, on stage.
yeah,
not
prior.
outside it.
Yeah.
Part. It's all about so for this
Also, he anchors so well always. It's so impressive.
part, it's all about telling people that we'll be chasing our dream. We were born to really achieve their goals and do the dream that we want. No one can hold us. We're just doing a dream. We're gonna do it, and we were born this way. So by Lady Gaga. But,
And we were born this
and we were born
So
this
everyone's like, oh, this is so serious. They're looking down and shit. 3, 2,
way.
1.
So, by Lady Gaga. But,
Look at Estelle. What the fuck?
Also, I love like can
really
never
like the whole
spoke.
song. As a producer, I really like the overall vibe of the song. It's really like the
He produced this, didn't he?
whole song. As a, really like the whole song. As a producer, I really like the overall vibe of the song. It's kind of like a post-punk type of like beat.
Great.
What the fuck, genius? Let him speak, man.
Great.
I swear,
No,
you
but
can't talk.
that's actually no, he didn't. He just did his rap. But I love the fact that this is very on brand.
This is very Ken, though.
This is very on brand
you know,
with him, actually.
If you're new to SB19, he's very important to the group, regardless of whether he speaks or not.
It's true.
And he's one of our favorite members, actually.
But
But
one
that
of my
just
favorite solo activities also.
yeah, he's just a bit peculiar. Those are raw vocals. Yeah,
I agree.
that's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's exactly what we expected, and
We are the future.
they are the
Amen.
future. I think honestly,
Hell yeah.
I was really worried at one point earlier in the year because I think they might have. I didn't know about the signings they were about to have in the summer, in terms of the agencies they were going to sign with and representations and stuff like that. And then we obviously knew about Lollapalooza and all this stuff, but it did seem like, okay, well, board of directors, we're going public with 1C Entertainment. We're launching a new group. This might mean it's time to evolve. It's time to then hop off the stage and become businessmen. But then seeing the latest signings that they've made, it does feel like they do have a couple of years left.
More in the bag.
And most likely the most successful years, unless something catastrophic happens or, a couple of... Cancelada means God forbid. Unless, a couple of big breakout stories happen or something like this. But they've been so careful about that. I think the boys are immensely careful about everything. I think they're very careful about the ladies problem. I think they're very careful about the partying problem, the drinking problem or anything like that. I'm not saying they have a problem in this aspect. It's just the problem of every boy group, usually when they start going global. So I think the future is bright, and very obviously they are the future in the Philippines. Whether they become the future worldwide, that's for them to fucking prove.
I really hope that is the truth. I hope that is the future.